Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's chilly in Jerusalem. I waited an extra 5 minutes hoping that the sun would come through all the foggy atmosphere this morning, and there we are. Happy Christmas from Jerusalem, and also happy Hanukkah. The first candle was lit last night. And that's an interesting feast because it usually precedes Christmas, but the way the calendars work, the way the suns, the solar year and the lunar year intersect, which determine all these things, we don't control that. But this year the Hanukkah candle was lit on Christmas night, and it's a recovery of the dedication of the temple. And that's a very important theme, the recovery of the religious dimension in a society where there's persecution, where there's abandonment through materialistic decline or materialistic spirit of people. Then the recovery of the religious dimension is very important. And I really like to say a bunch of things after a couple of weeks not having sunrise stroll and chat. I'm a bit protected here because of the wind chill factor, and the temperatures are down a little bit. Maybe I should turn around this side here so you can be watching Jerusalem at the same time. But it's actually 16 days since I fixed the notes to go with the sunrise stroll and chat, and we had a week of spiritual exercises in Ein Karim, which is actually west of here about 6-7 miles, and it's a good hour and 15 or a good hour and 20 minutes walk if you want to do it an intensive walk. I've done it years ago a number of times. And then we had our biblical study trip, cultural study trip in Greece, in southern Greece, Athens, Corinth, Aegina Island, and also to Delphos, where the oracle is. And then we have come back and had Christmas, and there was just so much going on. We have also a very intense series of meetings the next few days. So lots of different things. So this is just explaining the interruption. And then just to explain another thing, this is all about memory. You know, going to Greece was an incredible memory of Western culture. The beginning of art, the beginning of philosophy, the beginning of democracy. So many things you touch in Greece, where human beings from the ground up are trying to find solutions to the challenges of life on earth. And then the spiritual exercises before that were going back to all the things that God has done for us. His incredible revelation of love, the purpose of creation, the reality of sin, the gift of redemption, just an amazing recall, a memory. And memory is so important. And actually this week is kind of funny the way it's going to be, because today we're starting off with St. Stephen's martyrdom. You know, and that's about 30-something years after Jesus was born. And you could say, well, like, why is that the feast day today? And then we'll have another feast day tomorrow. Oh wow, I'm after doing the wrong thing here with the phone. But it's we have St. John the Evangelist. And then we have the Holy Innocents the next day. And then we have the Feast of the Holy Family. And it's all about remembering. And if we look at the biblical feasts, they're all about remembering. And actually they're religious feasts. They're harvest feasts, maybe agricultural feasts in their, let's say, their timing. But the religious nature of the feasts is articulated as a command from God. And memory is very important for developing love, also for a couple, even if a couple is in trouble, to go back to the basis of the relationship and how they got to know each other, if it's a seriously prepared relationship. Sometimes people jump into things without serious preparation, unfortunately, and that's a very serious matter that requires great preparation. And so, going back to the roots of our life, going back to the beginnings, the origins, where we started, how we got here, all the blessings that God has done in our life, despite all the setbacks and all the difficulties we face. And this is the path to love, and the path to growth in love. And that's why we have Christmas, an octave of Christmas, 8 days of Christmas memory. There actually, it's an octave also of Hanukkah, with the 8 candles. So it's an amazing exercise for us as we sit and ponder. Sometimes you have to sit in traffic like these people down here. They look like they're stopped. There's obviously some delay. Maybe we can go to the other side of the building here and check it out. What's going on over here? Well, they're flowing here now, so I'm not sure. Maybe it was just a traffic light. So anyway, when we're sitting to stop and think and remember, and that's what we're doing with Stephen. And the fact of Jesus coming into the world is beautiful to celebrate with. There's a lot of kind of traditional way of sweet things and decorations and music. And by the way, it's not over, even though the secular radio stations won't play any Christmas music anymore. It's Christmas just started yesterday, or the night in the midnight mass. So Christmas is a period of up to the 6th of January in many countries, the 12 days of Christmas. It's a Christmas season that lasts until the baptism Sunday of Jesus. So all this exercise of memory is fantastic. And it's the memory of love coming into a world of darkness. In many places there's a lot of violence, a lot of conflict. Not just in the scenes where we have major war events going on, which are so sad, but also in many other countries there are acts of violence being carried out. But that happens inside the kitchen as well, in the home, with verbal violence. And that's why the hero of today, Saint Stephen, is not just a hero ready to die, he is a hero ready to forgive. And he pleads before the Father and intercedes for his killers. And he says, Father, do not hold this sin against them. What an attitude in the kitchen to have. Somebody said a mean word. Somebody was selfish with the food. Somebody didn't clean up their part, their duty, their responsibility. They didn't do it. And imagine the light that comes into the world and just cuts through all the fog. And this is what it's all about. This is the wonderful dimension of Christian Messiah experience of 2,000 years. It didn't take away all the problems with one magic wand, but it gives us the strength and the light to be part of the solution. And one day maybe we'll have to do a huge act of forgiveness that's very massive, but we need to learn it with small acts of forgiveness. And that's how parents, one of the greatest treasures parents can transmit to their children, one of the greatest legacies they can give them, is not some fantastic old art piece that great-great-grandmother gave the family. It's to give them a legacy of the ability to forgive. As human society, living together needs that. And having been so beat up, Stephen stoned to death, that's a brutal way of killing somebody. And it's here in Jerusalem, you know, there's a St. Stephen's church over here remembering, but I think it's remembering a burial later on. We have here at the École Biblique, that building there now that dominates in the center. It's St. Stephen's Church. It's the largest Byzantine church base that was rebuilt in the Holy Land. And then if we go down to those two minarets here before the Mount of Olives that are lined up, the second one closer to the hill is right beside St. Stephen's Gate, which is also called the Lion's Gate. It's also called the Sheep Gate. And because that's the closest to where the memory of Stephen's stoning to death, which is down in near Gethsemane, is remembered with the Greek Orthodox Church. And there's a cave underneath there that recalls this killing of Stephen. And this is the first memory the first day we have after Christmas. And this is extraordinary because it tells us that being a disciple of Jesus and receiving the gift of the Christmas light and faith is about actually being light in the world of darkness and being love in the world of hostility and violence. And we have an extraordinary martyr, the first martyr, to give witness, because this is what we need to do. We need to give witness, not just to enjoy music on Christmas, to give witness to kindness, to give witness to goodness, to give witness to a heart that's ready to forgive. Father, forgive them that do not know what they're doing. Let's teach the little children how to do that by example, between spouses, between parents, between neighbors, between other family members, extended family members. Let's teach children how to rebuild relationships. That's what Christmas is all about. People, happy Christmas. May your Christmas be filled with the happiness of rebuilding and renewing relationships that need to be renewed. God bless you. See you later, alligator. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Good to be back with you all. Spread the word. And don't forget about the other little pieces I put up over the last few weeks. Just a few things to keep in touch. God bless you.